Hello, my name is Jaden Martin, and this is my learning summary video in Dr. Strangelove's Media Studies class.
In Dr. Strangelove's class, we learned many different things in many different ways. Some of my favorite parts of Dr. Strangelove's class was creating collages. We made 4 to 6 different collages, and my favorite was my Young Guns Future Watch creation. It's a collage of young hockey players growing up playing in the CHL, and they're on the verge of making the NHL. I have all the different kinds of social media platforms on the collage, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. That was one of the collages that we did. Like I said before, we did 4 to 6. Another thing that I learned in Dr. Strangelove's class is that the internet is not everything, and it is good to disconnect. During our classes, Dr. Strangelove would make us disconnect from the world and just focus. Dr. Strangelove would want us to focus in on class instead of focusing on taking notes or scrolling through social media or getting distracted through social media while in his class. He believes that it was a good thing to disconnect, and I also agree. Before joining Dr. Strangelove's class, I didn't know the ins and outs of social media companies like Dr. Strangelove, and it really opened my eyes to wanting to disconnect. And another thing that I learned in Dr. Strangelove's class is to view media from different perspectives and educate yourself on knowing both sides of the story. So from viewing both sides of the story, you can now actually pick which side you want to believe instead of just viewing one side of the story, believing that's the only good side and that's the only right way of believing everything. Take a look at both sides of the story, then come to your conclusion and figure out what you want to believe, if that makes sense. Overall, I would say the 3 main things that I learned this year in Dr. Strangelove's class was how to create a collage or create physical media by hand. And one of the second things was the internet is not everything, and it is good to disconnect. Being connected all the time can have a big toll on your mental health. At least that's what Dr. Strangelove was telling us, and I also do believe it in a way. Another thing that he taught us was to view media from both sides and educate yourself for knowing both sides of the story. Like I just said, if you know both sides of the story, you can come to an equal conclusion and make a fair conclusion instead of being biased. And that is all. Thank you for listening to my learning summary video in Dr. Strangelove's Media Studies class.